It's ladies night, what? It must be Sarah on the mic. With sweet little Holly, got the sugar, got the spice. We're keeping us tight, we're guests on the night. Linked up with Urban Spirit Studios. That's right. And I'm not a rookie on this all-star team. Me and Holly get you hooked like we're fishing for green. This is home, never leaving us talent alone. Yes, it is my city, it's my throne.
Hi guys, and welcome to another Ladies Night with myself, Sarah.
And me, Holly, where we're here to discuss life from pills
to pills.
As far as dating goes, there's horror stories.
Yeah.
There's bad horror stories.
There is.
Have you got any horror stories?
Not really.
I've got a horror story.
Have you now?
I have got a horror story. Just take a peek at this. Just going straight into it with a horror story because this is just like unmatched. So I've got a friend and this friend told me this story and I've known this story for quite some time. And now this is how I know this friend through this story. Every time I see her, every time I look at her, this is all I can think of. It's all I can... Just cast your eyes. So she said that she'd been chatting to this guy for a while and they was in the talking stage, as they call it, for a long time. Mm-hmm. He was exactly her type. He was tall, dark and handsome. And they also shared similar traits as well. So they shared quite a lot of similar traits. And she thought, oh my God, this is the dream man. They shared the same humour. They grew up in the same area and had mutual friends. But she sort of questioned how she didn't know him ever. So why have we got mutual friends? Why are we in the same area? But how come I don't know you?
They've never crossed paths.
Never crossed paths. Never. But she thought, right, I'll give it a go anyway because he's ticking every other single box. So we can leave it at that. So he was a gentleman, he took her out on a lot of dates, but he never let her go round his house. And she just thought that's because he's a gentleman. Yeah. What would you think about that?
Yeah, I'd probably think the same thing. He's not being pushy, he's not trying to get me around there.
Even after a good few months and you've still not been around the house?
Oh, maybe after a few months I might be a little bit sceptical.
Well, anyway, she thought that she'd never been treated like this before, so maybe this was a good sign. So she was all up for it. No, he ticked all the boxes. He was attractive. He was her type. And he was also a gentleman. He took her out on dates. He paid. So she's thinking, I've hit jackpot here. I have hit the jackpot. Anyways, moving on. As time went, they started to open up to each other. And she told him that she was in care and that her mum and dad adopted her. So her current mum and dad had adopted her. So she was an adopted child. And he also told her about his family as well, but not in depth. So he never talked about his family in depth. He never said what their names were. He never said where they were from. He just said that he's got a good relationship with his family. That's all he said. So she used to say that she didn't like her biological family because she knew of them, but she didn't like them. And she just sort of left it at that because they didn't care for her. She didn't want anything to do with them. And that was that. And he also used to get a little bit annoyed at this in his face. He used to get annoyed that she didn't like her biological family.
Yeah.
So red flags are coming in here, aren't they?
Yeah.
Red flags are coming in strong.
I think
You're not catching my drift. Just wait till you hear this.
I think I am.
So she said that eventually the red flags kept on approaching and it had been 5 months at this point and she still had not met his family or became his girlfriend after 5 months. And you've got to think now, you've got talking stage. So 5 months is still a good amount of time.
Yeah.
And in the talking stage as well, usually I'd be thinking, right, I should be girlfriend right now. And she still wasn't his girlfriend.
100%.
And also she hadn't met his family. She's thinking, how do we know each other? As in we have mutual friends. You won't talk about your family. I tell you about mine, biological family.
I'd be digging.
She didn't need to dig.
I'd be digging. I'd be asking these mutual friends, who is this guy?
Well, it all ended because one night they got really drunk, and this is the first time that he also drank alcohol in front of her. He didn't usually drink. He wasn't a drinker. And she just thought, oh my God, another box he's ticking. He's not
he's not a wild guy.
He's not wild. That's for me. He's not going out getting with other girls. She's thinking, oh my God, I've got my husband here. We're getting married prematurely. So that 5 months, don't make me your girlfriend and make me your wife. That's what she's thinking. Anyway, so they got really drunk on this night out and then he starts talking to her and he starts crying and he starts confessing his love to her.
Okay.
And then he also says, by the way, I'm your cousin.
No, see, do you know what? I was thinking that, not cousin. I thought it's going to come out and they're going to be like brother and sister. Wait, so he knew from the beginning that they were cousins?
He knew from the beginning that they were cousins.
Why would he do that?
Literally. So
That's nasty.
He's heartbroken, thinking, oh my God, my dream man that I could have had, and he's actually my cousin. Well, no wonder he's my dream man. He's related to me.
Oh my word.
Yeah, what would you do in that situation?
What could you do?
What can you do?
To be fair, I'd probably still have to marry him.
Yeah.
Well, it's not illegal, is it? You can marry your cousin.
That's incest.
No, incest is if it's with your sibling. You can't do that.
I swear that's incest.
It's not incest.
Oh, sorry, police volunteering here. That's definitely incest. Don't
It's
do that.
not.
Don't take that
I
for
watched a whole documentary on it.
Really?
Yeah, so like in a lot of communities, I think it's like Indian communities where they'll actually get with their first cousins. It's not recommended because they do say, because genetics are quite close. I think it's better if it's more like a second cousin rather than a first cousin. But me personally, I wouldn't get with my first cousin because we've all been raised around each other as well.
Anyway, not mine. First, second, third, fourth, fifth. No,
Wouldn't you? Yeah, you would.
No, I would not.
If it was your fifth cousin and you didn't know until you've already been with them now.
I simply would not.
Yeah, but you've already been with them like she has. What does she do? Does she stay?
She binned him off. She'd never seen him again. Never spoke to the family again. I think she's living in a different area now, to be honest. To be honest, yeah. But I knew her.
That's
a while ago,
traumatic.
I think she has moved areas, and can you really blame her? To be honest, I think I would move areas.
Do you know what? I actually read something about a guy who, it was the similar sort of thing.
Yeah.
So this guy, he met this woman. He was like on a business trip.
Yeah.
So this guy went on a business trip and he was doing whatever. I don't know what his job was. And he crossed paths with this woman, thought she was lovely, exchanged telephone numbers and whatever. Said, I'll probably, we can meet up again if I'm back in the area. So he goes off back to his job and his life. A few months later, he comes back to a messenger. Can we meet up? Let's have a drink. That happened a few times until the point where, they're ringing each other now and they're actually getting close to each other. So they get together. He actually relocates with his job and works in her city now. So he
did that for her?
Yeah, eventually, yeah. So because the business was like, he was able to do that within that business because they had like a few different offices. So he went over to her city, specifically, for her. So they linked up, they got together, they got married, they had children, and then she got really ill and she needed a liver transplant. So they searched through all these different people that could have done it, and she couldn't get a match through her family members because she'd been adopted.
Yeah.
So because she couldn't get that match, and as the husband, he was really upset, that thinking, she needs this transplant. So he spoke to her doctor and said, could I get this transplant, like just test, So they tested him and they was like, oh no, we need to have some words with you because something has come up in your test results. So then he goes back to the doctor and he's thinking, oh my gosh, something is seriously wrong with me now. So the doctor sits him down and says, do you know what? You are like a really close match with your wife. And you don't normally see that because normally it's a genetic thing. So he was like, well, can it happen if you're non-genetic? And it was like, yeah, it can happen, but it's like really, really rare. So they had to go through all these genetic testings and they actually found out that they were brother and sister.
I knew he was going to say that.
They had 4 kids together. They were married for like 12 years.
Kids have got problems because incest kids have problems.
Sometimes, yeah.
Most of that.
But he stayed with her because they didn't know. So he found out from his parents that they were teenagers when they had him, like say like 19, but they'd had her when they were like 15, put her up for adoption. But then when they got pregnant again, it was like, well, we'll keep this child. So they kept him and didn't keep her. And they'd moved cities, and then by chance they'd actually met each other.
Do you think you could actually stay with your partner knowing that is not even cousin, that is your brother? I could not.
It's hard, isn't it? Because
I would be sick.
Because you've already had kids as well. Like you're married to them, you've built your whole life with them. You've had 4 children.
Yeah.
But again, I don't know if I could.
Oh, I could.
Because all I'd be thinking about is the fact that we're actual siblings. Do you know what I mean?
What does that make them kids? Them kids are the product of a brother and a sister.
Well, yeah, so they're like cousins.
They're basically like, how many was there? 2?
4.
4 quadruplets, essentially.
Well, they're cousins and brothers and sisters.
Oh, that's absolutely vile. That is that.
I know.
Like that does.
It made me feel a bit sick, but I forgot about that. You like unlocked a level in my brain that
How
I
did you even
remembered.
find out about that?
I'm always on the internet, so I see things or somebody will post something and then I read something
That
or
is literally batch crazy.
it is, isn't it? I thought I was, yeah, it's just one of those things that,
Do you know what this makes like I don't know about you, my life feel really normal and nice. I'm not gonna lie. It's like watching EastEnders.
yeah, there's no do going
There
off.
should be. Tell you that for real. There should be.
What, in your life?
No, in their life.
Oh, in their life, 100%.
Yeah.
They've got whole cliffhangers. Like, what would you do? There's all those freeze moments. Yeah. Do they still do that in EastEnders?
Oh yeah.
They do.
Here
They stop and go.
But to be fair, they don't go that far in EastEnders where there's actually incest.
Oh, okay.
I think that's too far, to be honest.
Yeah, there's a lot in it.
I don't think they have. I mean, tell me if I'm wrong, but I don't think there's been incest in EastEnders.
God. Here's me, I'm like, I don't have no dating horror stories. Yeah, I did. You unlocked the Jumanji. I think that would be me. I'll be like, Jumanji, I need to get out.
So, let's call the dad Matt, right?
Okay.
So we're calling the dad Matt because Matt's quite a bog standard name. There's that many Matts around that you're not going to know who I'm talking about here. Chuffing it, Matt. Anyway, so my dad was always my best friend. We spent every other Sunday together having fun and having like father and daughter dates until this one Sunday. So every Sunday, best friends, they did this every Sunday. So this wasn't even like questioned. They never missed a Sunday. This was their day together. It was their father and daughter day, best friends. Well, daddy's girl, shall we say.
Yeah.
So she started to question her dad when all of a sudden he started cancelling on her, telling her that they now had to work on a Sunday.
Okay.
So he told her that now all of a sudden he has to work on a Sunday. He can't do these Sundays with her anymore because he's got to work. And this was like their thing that they used to do. So anyway, despite being disappointed, she shrugged it off as she's 23 now and she didn't want to be a brat. And this was until they booked a family trip to Alton Towers, where her dad and her uncle both couldn't make it.
Wait, this is local. Alton Towers.
Yeah,
we could literally find out who this person
I'm not
is.
gonna tell you who it is. If you come on the lives, I'll tell you who it is.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's a pretty crazy story, to be honest. So her dad and her uncle was also the same. He was at like every family event. They didn't miss it. It was quite abnormal for her uncle not to be there. So she decided that without a dad, she didn't want to go. And she was going through stuff, so she decided to have a self-care day instead. She didn't want to go to Alton Towers. She wasn't feeling it. And here she is watching Gossip Girl. I mean, so brilliantly apparent for the story, can I just say. When she hears two very drunken men barge through the family front door, and it was a sight that she'll never forget in her head. My dad and uncle passionately kissing on my family sofa. Now they live together and my mum and sister-in-law are best friends. Drop the mic. Mic drop.
What?
Her dad and her uncle. So her mum's brother and her dad.
What?
And how long was that going on for? She never knew. She never knew how long that was going on for. Because obviously that was the lead up to get the Sunday off work so that he could spend time with him. But before that, it was going on for many years, apparently.
Oh my word. My eyes twitching.
She's got Twitch eye from that.
I have.
But also, you've got to think, how disrespect of you.
Yeah, but it's
with their day and you're going to actually get rid of your Sunday.
Yeah, but it's not even that. It's all in the family home.
In the family home, yeah.
He was still with the mum, right?
Yeah, still with the mum.
No.
Still with the mum. And then it only happened in the family house once, obviously, because it was where they could do it.
No.
And they were all supposed to be out. He didn't know that the daughter stayed at home because of him. Stayed at home because of him. Had a self-care day because of him. And then she goes downstairs to see them passionately songing on the sofa, two very drunk men. And now they live together.
Bad dad. That's not good.
That's not good.
That is not good.
That is unfair.
No. See, I don't like cheating. Don't like cheaters. Don't like, no, ew. Like, oh my God.
And then also you've got to think sometimes it's hard for men, especially if you're a gay guy and you're not ready to come out yet. It's hard to, sometimes they conceal that by cheating because it means that they get to live their life.
Yeah, but in the family home with the kid's uncle.
Yeah, on a Sunday that was your daughter's Sunday.
That's a bit much.
That's a bit much to be honest.
You know, no.
They were twins and She moved in with us. So let me pretend that I'm her. So my twin sister moved in with me because she lost her job and she split with her husband. So she moved in with me and I was fine with this because it's my twin sister.
Yeah.
Of course, you come before anyone. You come before my partner. You're number one. If you want to live with me and he don't like it, he can move out because you're living with me. So she was my best friend, and I said that she can, of course, stay. And things were normal as ever. It was like a little family. The three of us, my partner, my sister, and me, was like a little family. It was beautiful. We was like best friends. We did everything together. We watched TV together, watched programs together. We had little date nights, all three of us together. We used to go to the movies, to shopping together. We did everything together. And my husband and sister both work nights. So usually we spent time together in the day. They spent time together in the day when I was at work.
Yeah.
They both work nights. So I would only see them for like a few hours in the day or on the days off. And other than that, they spent most of the time together. But I trusted them because this is my twin sister and this is my husband. My twin sister would never do that. I didn't think she liked men at one point. So this was fine to me. We was best friends and I'd been together with them before. So I knew how friendly they were together and I didn't think that was abnormal. And this was until one day when I started to throw up at work, so I had to leave early. And this is when everything changed. So I found my husband and twin sister in bed together. They'd been leading a double life the whole time. And he's the reason that she divorced her ex-husband and she wanted to stay with me to be closer to him. So now they have two children together and I haven't spoken to her since. And that to me is pretty heartbreaking because like not speaking to the man, that's fine. Get rid of him. Get rid, replace. You can't replace your twin sister.
See, that's on the level of that other story. Like, are you serious? But it's even like more so crazy.
That one is literally
your twin sister.
Yeah, twin sister.
And
how could you?
But then moved in with you. Like, even if that was a friend, like if a friend was like, oh, I've broken up with my husband, can I come live with you? I'm gone, yeah, you know, you're down and out, you're upset, come live with me. To know actually you left your man because you was having an affair with my man to come live in my house with my man?
In front of your faces as well.
There would be some actual unaliving of people. I don't think I could deal with that. They couldn't move on with their life.
No. But that's
like, do you know what I mean?
That's your twin sister though, like that's your twin, like how heartbreaking would that be? I would have to literally I could not go on my life anymore.
Yeah, that's a lot.
She lost her job and her husband, that's why she moved in.
That's wicked, that is.
She got a new job working nights because he works nights. So she wanted to spend all day with him without her sister seeing.
Nasty
behaviour. Honestly, get yourself together.
It's one of those where it's like good riddance. Do you know what I mean? You've got rid of that disgusting man and disgusting sister. But it's so like, imagine how heartbreaking that is, because obviously you are a twin. I
don't think I could go on with my life anymore. I think that would be so heartbreaking to the point where I just could not. Just literally could not.
Yeah, you'd spiral into some crazy depression or something, wouldn't you? Or
mental, yeah.
Oh,
saying this though, some twins aren't actually that close together. Some twins aren't actually best friends. I know twins that literally don't even like each other. And
like twin envy.
No, they just don't get along. And that to me literally baffles my mind because as a twin, I just think, how can you physically not like your twin?
I think that if you don't like your twin, then you hate yourself. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you hate yourself, and also how are you even going to ever have friends? You're just obviously very picky.
Because I do get that obviously you are separate people as twins. You do have that separate life, but I know there's that crazy bond as well that you have because you were in the womb at the same time.
Yeah,
and
she literally feels like my twin feels like me but another person.
Yeah.
And I feel like as we've gotten older, it's become less like that because obviously we moved away and we lived separately, and that was a massive thing as well. But yeah, she's still me but a different person. It's just not as strong anymore, and I've grown up a little bit.
Yeah.
But I just think that's absolutely just diabolical.
It is. That makes me sick.
And now they've got 2 kids together.
So I met this girl on Tinder and went for a lunch date. We had a pretty good connection, so we decided to have dinner as well. After having a few drinks, one thing led to another and ended up back at my place. We got together, you know, they did the deed and they went to sleep. In the middle of the night, I wake up, but she's intensely staring at me while she's crouched behind the bed.
What? I'm off The Exorcist or something like that.
You know, you can just imagine someone's just there.
Yeah, that's mental.
Staring at you, okay? I asked her if everything's all right. She said yes and got back into the bed. Thought, it's a little creepy.
Gonna get murdered or something. Literally, I'd just hold my breath. I'd just go, just,
Like, pretend you didn't see it.
yeah, just kill me. I'd just try to align myself on the spot. Just...
So he says, I thought, a little creepy, but probably nothing to worry about. She lays down to cuddle with me and she's wet. At the time, I was like, damn, I must be a stallion. Fast forward to the morning and she's gone. And there's a wet puddle beside my bed. She's peed on my floor. I still don't understand it. I had a bathroom, but maybe she just got lost and couldn't find it. I didn't hear from her again.
To be fair, with how you was explaining that, I thought it was going to be something highly creepy and scary. And I would have peed myself last night and seeing that, her crouched.
Just, yeah, like, it's just staring at you. But you know
But do you know when it's dark and you can't see each other properly, so you're staring because you're seeing if they're awake, but...
It's like, just behind the bed, just crouched, just staring. You're like babies.
Where's the toilet?
Well, I don't think it could have been that far. But unless he's got like a really big house. Yeah,
Maybe
but
he didn't want to see his family. Maybe what if his family was out and about and like...
Is that what you would do? Oh, I don't want to bump into the family, so let me just crouch at the bottom of the bed.
At least get a freaking bottle, Jesus. I would go to the lavatory. I would in fact go to the lavatory.
Oh dear.
So you never saw her again then. This is why you don't do that on Tinder. Literally, that is why. Don't do a one night stand on Tinder with someone you don't know because they could wee on your floor and that would be absolutely tragic and I won't be cleaning that up. I'm shoving her face in it, mopping it.
Well, she disappeared quick time, innit? Never saw her again. Oh dear.
Message just saying like, excuse me love, you've made a mess on my floor. What's happened here?
Well, what do you think about this one? Okay. So this woman, she met this guy, again, online. There's a bit of a repeat with this stuff, isn't it? So it says, I talked to him for about 2 weeks before we went out, and there was no red flags. So we ended up going out for dinner. I said I hadn't been out in a while because I was trying to save money for a washer and a dryer. He told me, instead of saving for that, I should save for a boob job. I didn't even know how to reply. So I followed up with, no, it's not a bad thing. My sister and my mum both have small boobs. And they got boob jobs and, you know, sorry, I'm still thinking about how dare he? And I'm like getting flustered.
I'd say, right, do you want to pay for my boob job? Say, right, I'll be taking every single penny off you and stealing from you now because I want one so you can pay for it.
You know, when I'm reading it, I'm like, this can't be real life.
I'd say, can you get a job?
Right.
Can you get a...
Like, excuse me.
Job.
Yeah, and then he followed up with, it's not even a bad thing to get a boob job because my sister and my mum both have small tits and got boob jobs and they both look amazing. So,
perverse for what?
Yeah, this is all before the waitress even brought our drinks. So she just got up and left.
Yeah, she should. I think that would make me leave.
Rude.
What I would say is, I'd say, right, do you want to pay for it then? If he says yes, right, fair enough, I'll stay because you're paying.
What, you would?
Yeah, if he's going to pay for my boob job, yeah, I'll stay.
So if he said, instead of saving up for a wash and dry, you should get a boob job?
I'd say, right, well, are you going to pay for it then? If he says, yeah, of course, I'd say, right, okay, then I'll pretend to like you for so long until I've got the tits and then you can bugger off. You can absolutely bugger off into next century and I'll never speak to you again and then I'm going to give you loads of hate.
Yeah. So what would you do in this situation? Okay. This is the unexpected kinky date.
Right, don't make my mouth water, will you?
Oh, took the words right out of my mouth. So I agreed to meet up with a guy I knew through mutual friends. We decided to drive around for about an hour. We're just talking, getting to know one another. It was going really well. And then we started to kiss in his car. He then whispered to me, would you pee in my mouth with a funnel?
Would you what? Would you what in my mouth with a what?
Would you pee in my mouth with a funnel? Luckily, my cousin texted me and said that I had to leave.
Stuff that is.
He got out the car and he asked me how much I usually pee so that he could buy me a funnel at the shop. And I blocked him as soon as I got out of the car.
So usually people pay for that. So is she asking, are you paying for it? Because if you're paying for it, I will pee in your mouth.
Holly, you would not.
It depends how much.
Would you?
£100 pee in someone's mouth, you're telling me you wouldn't?
No.
I think.
Would you really?
To be fair. If you're paying £500, yeah, I'll win your mouth. First. It's not my problem. It's going in your mouth.
Oh
this is nothing. God. This is not my. It's not my.
Please, if we get any random comments on this, I'm going to be absolutely terrified. You're going to have all of those little weasels like crawling out on social media, going,
"Will you?
I'll give you £500.
Yep.
I'll pee in your mouth."
I hope I get them messaging me. I made 500 quid. Right, that's already very serious with your face. That makes me scared.
No, it's not that bad.
Go on then, say it out. Did you lie?
Okay, so I went out and I was with my best friend and her boyfriend. We got really drunk and we decided to go lay down. So it was really innocent. We just lay down, was just like really drunk. We're laying down next to each other and we're just talking. But then one thing led to another and bad decisions were made. The worst part is actually engaged to my best friend and they're waiting for marriage because they're both really religious before they actually have sex. To top it off, my boyfriend is also his best man.
No words. Well, when you say it went too far, what do you mean it went too far?
I think they literally did the whole
Abolish
thing.
the whole situation. Redo your friends. Redo your partners. It's not that bad. Life goes on.
Yeah.
Just abolish the whole situation.
It's wild, isn't it? Because obviously if he's supposed to be waiting, he's saying, okay, I'm going to marry you. We're both waiting for our wedding and our marriage night before we have sex.
Who's going to tell his mum? I'd just run to his mum, I'd sprint, I'd go, hey, you'll never guess what, I'd never guess what.
So yeah, that was the deed.
Well,
They did that.
Christ. What do you think about waiting?
What for?
Marriage.
I'm all for it.
Oh yeah.
I am.
God, I'm not.
I'm all for it. I'm a little bit like, I guess it's like, the weird side. I don't know, without putting too much out there, wanting to know logistics.
Yeah, exactly. You imagine you wait till marriage and you're like, crikey, I have made a terrible.
Yeah. Because it shouldn't be based on that. But I think if something is a little bit.
Also, you can't even. You're telling me you can't sleep in the same bed then. You can't really touch each other.
No, you wouldn't be able to. There'll be too much tension.
Go on, stick the marriage.
There'll be too much tension.
Do you know what?
Yeah.
Don't want to be religious anyway. Just stick it out the window.
Yeah. I think it's hard though because it's trying to find that line between obviously waiting for somebody, but then you don't want to be like, yeah, go out and just do it with everyone. Sort of situation.
I mean, I would never judge anyone's situation. I think, do you know what? It's your life. Do what you want. And I think as well, because we're females, we can't understand it because we don't get that out of it. But if I was a man, I think I could understand it a lot more.
Really?
Yeah. If it was that good every time and everything like that.
Yeah.
I think I could understand it.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. I think if people can abstain, I'm all for that.
I say I'm not waiting, so I've not waited. So there you go. Guys. If you wait until marriage, you can't have this candy.
Yeah, but you've also said that pay me and you can pee in my mouth.
I do say a lot of things, to be honest.
I know you do.
Mind.
Yeah. She won't really.